We just want to welcome everybody to our weekly webinar. We are doing this in partnership with the South Niagara Chamber of Commerce, as well as the Niagara Falls Small Business Enterprise Center. Today is a unique webinar in which we are going to be speaking to you about the many business tools that are available to you as entrepreneurs, as small business owners, and as well as just as individuals, because some of these tools can be used in your personal life as well as in your professional life. Now, just a reminder to stay on mute, but we will be taking question and answers, so feel free to put those in the chat box whenever you want to, and we will address those questions at the end of the presentation. Now, before I go any further, I would like to introduce you to my colleague, David D'Angelo. And David, he is the Director of Strategy and Business Development at Spark Niagara. He is also an entrepreneur, a very successful entrepreneur at that, and an angel investor. Now, if you're looking at me going, what in the world's an angel investor? I'm going to send you to a webinar that we had very recently that Dave actually hosted himself, and he talks all about that and all the many ways you can find funding as an entrepreneur. So check it out on our YouTube channel. So David, I'm hand it over to you.
Thank you very much, Nicole, and thanks everyone for joining today. So I want to introduce Nicole Smith. She is the Event and Communications Coordinator at Spark Niagara. And Nicole is also an entrepreneur. She's the founder of You're Worth More Ministries. I'm going to let Nicole explain what her business does, and she has some great events upcoming in the next weeks that you guys should definitely check out.
Okay, well, thank you. So You're Worth More Ministries is actually an organization that does two things. We provide training with regards to suicide prevention and suicide intervention. And we also provide events in which we speak a message of hope and life, generally to youth and young adults, but quite honestly, I like speaking hope and life into anybody. The events that David is making reference to is actually, we have what's called Assist Training coming at the end of September and at the end of October. Assist Training is suicide intervention training, so it's essentially a suicide first aid training. And if you ever find yourself in a position where somebody tells you that they're having thoughts of suicide and you don't know what to do, this is what this will equip you to do, to know how to speak about it, how to approach it, and how to get them to agreeing to stay safe for now. So anyways, check it out. You can check it out on my Facebook page. So it's You're Worth More, and it's letter U, letter R, Worth More. And or send me a message, and I'll be happy to chat with you about that anytime. So back to you, Dave.
Thanks, Nicole. Just before we get going, Nicole, I don't think on my end the slides are moving. I'm not sure if anyone else is.
Oh, okay, here we go. There we go.
There we go.
See, I didn't move it. That's why the slides are moving. So there's a lovely picture of us. I just got excited about talking about, my passion. So sorry about that.
No problem. Yeah, so a quick overview of today, what we're going to be talking about. So today we're going to touch on a variety of different tools and resources that you can use in your startup to help make you a bit more productive, efficient with your time, and really help automate some of the tasks that you're doing and give a lot of service. So there's going to be a variety of different tools we touch on, all at a very entry level, from accounting softwares to document signs, email marketing, graphic design, and a variety of others. So we're going to go through each of these. These are ones, a lot of them that we use, that we like. There's a lot of alternatives to look into, but just wanted to give you an overview of things that do exist to try and help your productivity.
Absolutely. And so we are going to start with me getting the next slide. Sorry, there we go. Okay, so we are going to start with a project management tool called Asana. Now, before I talk about Asana, I'm very curious to know how many of you actually use or are familiar with Asana. So if you could just take a minute and write in the chat box whether or not you use Asana, that would be amazing, and it would allow us to know if anybody's familiar with this product at all. Oh, I see a few chats there. Let's see what we got. Okay, so we have one comment that says they use a similar software and somebody else who's never heard of it. So there we go. It's my pleasure then to introduce you to Asana. So yes, there are other programs, and that for anything that we're going to share today, there are other programs that exist, and we do talk about that. If you see at the bottom of the slide, it's called alternatives. But these are the tools that we either use or are familiar with. So Asana is actually a web and mobile application tool designed to help teams organize, track, and manage their work. So like most new tools, this does have a little bit of a learning curve, but it is a very useful tool and very easy to use. We at Spark use it, and actually I can show you what that looks like if it will let me do that. Yes, it will. So this is what Asana looks like essentially when you first go in. So there's, you know, your home tab right there, and you see all the little recent projects that we have here at Spark. So this is everybody at Spark gets to see this. This is my personal tab. So these are all the things that I have to do between now and probably the end of the year. And so that's what that looks like. And if I need to add, you know, I add to it, and somebody else can actually add to it and add my name to it, and it gets added to my list. And so that's essentially what that looks like. And then of course, you can have, you know, little boards like this. And so it's all lists like this, what that looks like. So that's essentially what Asana looks like. It's a very useful tool. We use it here at Spark. It keeps us organized, it keeps us connected, and keeps us moving forward. So it's a great thing. So I'm gonna go back to sharing my screen here. Boom.
If I just jump in for 1 second, one thing, Nicole, I personally love about Asana is that you can tag your team members in certain tasks, and then they get an email notification. So whether that's you know, a due date for a specific project or a note about it, they'll get a notification both on mobile or on their emails. So they really see what's going on with the project, and it just keeps things really nicely organized.
And that is correct. And there's different tiers, as you can see. You can test it with the free plan. I love that because, you know, every individual does and learns and things differently. And so if one particular software doesn't work for you, that's okay. A free plan allows you the opportunity to test it. And then if you choose that you want to, then it's not actually, you know, too expensive. And so, yeah, so it's a great tool that way. So that is the world of Asana. Alternatives are Trello, Scoro, and Pro Workflow. So those are that one. So moving forward, woo, look at that. I went 2 slides ahead. Moving forward, I'm sure many people are familiar with G Suite. G Suite is something that is attached in the Google world. So if you have Gmail, you have definite access to G Suite. Now, this is a cloud-based software. It's almost Google's version of, you know, the Microsoft suite of tools that you can have. So there is something like Word, there is something like PowerPoint, which is actually what we're using today. You know, it has a bunch of very similar things, but also has things that are different, kind of like Hangouts, which allows you to communicate, which is fun again, because it's like a chatting tool within the G Suite. So you can chat very quickly with your group, especially if, you know, your phone is dead and you can't text them. This is a great way to do that. And of course, there's the Google Calendar. So G Suite is very much an all-encompassing thing. There is a learning tool, or sorry, a learning curve attached to it, especially if you're accustomed to the Microsoft version of things, because it has certain limitations that, of course, the Microsoft world does not. But you can overcome those limitations fairly quickly and learn to maneuver within this world easily. It's not overly expensive either. And if you have multiple members on your team, it's a great way to be able to allow your team to work together, because you can share files easily. You can create file folders, put everything in there, assign file folders to specific people or specific groups of people for a specific project. So it's very user-friendly that way and keeps everybody connected. So It makes everything easier for us at Spark and with the many things that we're involved in. And I would recommend that it would probably make things easier for you as an entrepreneur, especially if you have other team members in your organization. Alternatives are Microsoft Online and Dropbox. Similar, Dropbox, I'm sure people are familiar with that. Dropbox is also a great tool, but not quite as flexible, I think, as G Suite. So anyways, that's me. Dave, next is you. There we go.
So now we're going to talk about a CRM. So CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management Software. And the one we're going to talk about today is HubSpot. It's probably one of the largest and most well-known CRMs. So what is a CRM? It's a pipeline management software to manage your customers, partners, and really all of your interactions with anyone. So it's a database. Think of it almost as your Google spreadsheet, but with a lot more features, a lot more data that you can analyze, and really just a lot more features and tools. So with HubSpot, some things you can do is upload your customer lists in it with your phone, email, name, segment them based in different categories, and then find a lot of different things you can do with that. So you can email a specific group. You can schedule automatic follow-ups for customers. You can put them in a pipeline. If this is a customer who might be a lead, you can put them in different categories, lead to contract sent to contract signed. You can do a lot to really manage your different segments and then really look at the data. So you can see, for example, maybe you're not following up with your customers enough. You can do that automatically through HubSpot. They also have a lot of marketing features. So you can track your paid Facebook and Instagram ads on HubSpot. You can also look at your Google AdWords to see the performance. It's really a full integrated dashboard for all of your sales and marketing activities. It's a free plan to start. That's the best part. So you can actually get started on HubSpot right away, but there will be limited features. A lot of those marketing features are not going to be included. Those are paid features, but a really cool thing, startups with under 20 million in funding. So it's a lot of funding. If you have that much, that's what you're doing really well. But you will qualify for a 90% discount or $90 discount if you're a Spark member for your first year. Which is great. And then a couple alternatives that exist. There's a lot of different CRMs. So there's Copper, One CRM, Pipedrive. There's a lot. I've used a few different ones. One of the main reasons I personally like HubSpot is its integrations. It integrates very well with a lot of different tools and services. So for example, the past two, G Suite and Asana, it integrates with those natively. So a lot of these tasks, it all really works really nicely together because it all follows up automatically. One other cool feature with HubSpot is there's an email tracking extension. So with Gmail, when you send emails, it'll automatically track your emails and all that data will be uploaded to the customer. So it'll show when they were emailed by who. Then you can make notes, for example, like if you have a phone call with someone, you can put it on their file in HubSpot and you can see when they opened an email right on the database. Okay, our next tool is accounting in QuickBooks. So accounting is a very scary area for a lot of entrepreneurs, but QuickBooks really helps to make it a lot easier. So there's a few different versions. There's QuickBooks Online. You can get the desktop version. I personally use the QuickBooks Online version and have for many years. It's a really strong and powerful tool. As entrepreneurs, you really need to know about your finances, what expenses are coming in, what invoices the customers have to pay you, receipts to track. This is all the stuff QuickBooks can do. You can also do your payroll right on QuickBooks, as well as CRA remittances. So a lot of these things that are very complicated, QuickBooks makes very simple, is very user-friendly, and there's a ton of different features built into it. So things from creating invoices on a nice template, they have that, to sending payroll for your employees with the proper government remittances. You can do that right on there. One really cool feature too I like is a receipt tracker. So when you have a big envelope of receipts like most of us do, QuickBooks, there's an app and you can just take a picture of each of these receipts. it'll upload it to their software, and then you can just scan through and write what the receipt is. It saves a lot of time. So there are some definite alternatives. Xero, FreshBooks, Wave Accounting is another one not listed there. Personally, I'm a big fan of QuickBooks, and that's the one I would recommend.
Fantastic. We're going to move from accounting to something a little more exciting, graphic design.
Accounting
guess it
can be
depends.
exciting.
Some people get excited by numbers and other people get excited by the creative aspect of creating graphics. And so that's more my speed, so I'm very happy. So Canva is actually what we're going to talk about next. Canva is a very well-known product. It's an online graphic design tool that allows you to create a variety of different types of graphics, from logos to social media posts to even your letterhead. So there's a wide variety of different things that you can do on Canva. What I like about it is that it offers a great free alternative first. So if you want to test it out, it's great. And even within the free world of Canva, there are a lot of options that exist there. The difference between the free and the pro is that some of the pictures are not available to you under the free plan. You get to see them, but if you choose to use them, you have to pay for them. And it also, there's some of the other features, kind of like making the background disappear. That doesn't exist in the free plan, but I used the free plan for many years for Your Worth More, simply because, you know, I was just starting out with the business and managed to do quite well with it. When I couldn't find the picture I was looking for, just so you know, there are other online options for free photos. One of them is called Unsplash, I believe, and I can't remember. Oh, Pixel is another one. And so you can look at for the photo you want. Most of the time, those photos you have to give credit to the photographer, but you can do that, you know, at the bottom of your graphic picture. And then you can easily upload onto Canva. So Canva allows you to upload pictures so you can use them instead of using the ones that Canva has. So there's a lot of flexibility in that sense. If you choose to go to the pro is not too bad. It's $155 for the year, or you can do monthly at $13. And then there's, of course, an even greater plan at $40. That one, I haven't gone that far yet, but I'm very satisfied with the pro plan, and that's what we use here at Spark. Like I said, there's great templates. There's pre-templates that exist. You can create your own. There's a lot of flexibility. Alternatives, of course, are Adobe or Photoshop, but actually the whole Adobe world also has InDesign, which I used to use for another position I held. Loved InDesign. But I really am enjoying Canva. And of course, this is a whole lot more expensive than the Adobe Creative Suite. And then there's another thing called Easel that exists. But I do highly recommend, and we do highly recommend Canva. I really, really do enjoy that one. So next, of course, is Hootsuite. Now we're going from graphic designing right on to social media. Now, as the social media person here at Spark, this is one tool that we do definitely use at Spark. And what it allows us to do is it allows us to be able to schedule a post ahead of time. Facebook itself allows you to do that, which is great, but Twitter and Instagram and LinkedIn do not really offer that option. And so Hootsuite allows us to be able to do that so that we can put in our posts ahead of time and not really have to worry about it necessarily day to day. So it does have a free option. The free option allows you to try it out, of course. With the free option, you're only allowed 3 different social media types. But if you decide to buy or pay for Hootsuite, you can go from, having 3 to 10 at the lowest level. And then of course it goes from there. There is a discount for anybody who's a nonprofit organization through Hootsuite. So that's cool. So it does take a lot of work out of the marketing. And as I said, it just allows you to be able to schedule things, whereas otherwise you'd be doing all the platforms individually every day or every 3 days or whatever. And so alternatives are Agorapulse, I don't know that one, Social Bee, and Buffer. But Hootsuite does manage to be the king, and we do enjoy using Hootsuite here at Spark.
Okay, next is on email marketing with MailChimp. So MailChimp is a tool that helps you with marketing automation for your email list and a variety of other different features. So Spark does use MailChimp and it has a free plan. So when I say email marketing, simply that means is having a list of different emails with people that have allowed you or sorry, given you access to email them. So you do actually need that in Canada. There are laws that protect anti-spamming, so you can't just email someone without their authorization. But these people that have allowed you, so let's say you're active customers, you can put them in a list in MailChimp, create different categories, and then send them different messaging accordingly. So very popular feature for is a monthly newsletter. That's what we do at Spark, and a subscribe now on a website. So when you see those little buttons on subscribe now, on websites, you can integrate MailChimp to have that on your site. So then that email gets automatically added to your MailChimp list, and that person then receives your notifications. So coolest thing with MailChimp, there's a free plan and it has a lot of stuff built into it. So it'll have templates that you can use to get started. The little unsubscribe button at the bottom of your emails, that's in there. There's analytics to see how many people have opened your emails, who hasn't, if some bounce back. And it's really easy to manage multiple lists and data at once. So a lot of people don't think email marketing is an effective way to, whether it's to get customers engagement. And I highly disagree. I think it is a very good form to engage with their customers, keep them really aware of what's happening within your business. And a lot of times on websites, you can also do, this is a paid feature on MailChimp, what's called email sequences. So an example of that be someone signs up for the email list, you'll send them a welcome email. Then if they respond, they automatically will get sent a coupon code for whatever your product is. So these can all be fully automated from MailChimp and help save you a lot of time and increase your conversions. So there is a free plan. Plans though, the paid ones for the more features start at $10 to $15. Very affordable. There is a lot of alternatives to MailChimp for other email marketing, such as Constant Contact, Reply, and Vocus.io. Active Campaigns, another one. I personally like MailChimp. It's very easy to use and get started in, and some of the other ones are a bit more complicated, but you can definitely grow into those.
Yeah, and just before we leave this, Dave, the thing that's really important is if you're going to get into email marketing, because of CASO laws, it's very important to follow those, and using a system like MailChimp, because they are aware of this whole thing that exists, they build that stuff into and make sure that you end up staying safe and legal in that world, which is exactly what you want, because breaking CASO laws are not cool at all. But I agree with you, David. Email marketing is huge, and definitely not something that has died anytime soon.
One cool note about MailChimp too, or fact, or not a note, they're a really large company, thousands of employees. They have never raised any investor funding. They are fully funded themselves, which is pretty interesting for the multi-billion-dollar valuation of MailChimp.
That's pretty cool.
Yes, so next, video conferencing. Well, I think everyone on this call knows how to use Zoom. We are on Zoom right now. So I'm going to talk more about why I like Zoom compared to some of the others. So there's a free 45-minute call that you can have with Zoom, and then it's $20 a month for the premium version where it's unlimited. But I really like it for its ease of use. It integrates with your Google Calendar and a lot of other calendars, so you can book a Zoom meeting and it'll populate the link for you. The breakout room feature is great. We use that here at Spark on our weekly Fika Fridays on Fridays. And compared to some alternatives, I've used Teams, I've used Hangouts, Skype. It seems to perform a bit better, just in my opinion. I've had better luck with Zoom myself. And the other thing I really like about Zoom is that from their mobile app, if you're on the road taking Zoom calling in for the Zoom call, it's very easy to do so. There's the dial now button. You don't have to really struggle to find where the link is. My main thing with Zoom, why I like it, it's user friendly. And for a lot of people that, adjusting to this virtual world, I think it's made it a bit easier.
I agree completely. Makes you look like a pro even when you're not. Okay. So now we're going to move on to a password manager system. We're looking at LastPass. There are several others that exist, but this is a very great tool because in today's world, we have to try and remember so many passwords, it's ridiculous. Because everything you sign into requires you to have a password. And of course, cybersecurity says you don't use the same password for everything, and you need to, make it almost unrecognizable so that, people don't guess what it is and then get in and mess with your stuff. So LastPass is a program that allows you to actually save all of your passwords in one place. So there's two ways that it works. So it can work directly in your browser. And so what you do is you install the extension, you create your account with one master password. So you only have to remember one, which is great. And then you start filling in the vault with all of the other sites and the passwords for those sites. And it just manages that so that when you go into those sites, it's LastPass that's actually putting in the passwords and remembering the passwords for each one of those sites. You don't have to anymore. You just have to remember the one. The other way that it works is it's actually can work directly on your device. So it has an app, and so you just put everything in the app and it just synchronizes. It can synchronize your device and everything else together. So that's a pretty neat feature. Now, the pricing is very affordable. Of course, there's the free plan. That's, again, as I said, it's a great way to test it. If you like it, then you can move on to the paid plans, which are, again, like really nothing. Now that $4 is actually for American dollars. The Canadian dollar, I think, is if I remember correctly, $4.12, just so you know. $5 is $5.56, I believe, and the 8 is $8.76 or something like that. But anyways, these pricings are definitely affordable, especially in the world of cybersecurity. This is a great way to stay safe. And we like it simply because of the fact that cybersecurity is something that is on the forefront of our minds here at Spark, not only for ourselves, but for all of our members. And so we definitely would recommend a password manager. Now there are, of course, alternatives: Keeper, One Login, One Password. Another one is called Zoho. So those things all exist, but definitely worth checking into and testing, especially if there's a free plan version of something. And then we're going to talk about e-signatures. So in this virtual world, especially when COVID started and we were all under lockdown and couldn't go anywhere, I don't know about you, but I don't have necessarily a printer that allows me to scan, sign, and resend and that kind of a thing. I'm sure many don't. So the ability to sign a document virtually is huge. And DocuSign is one of those programs that allows you to do that. It's a cool and easy way to do it. You use this, and gone are the days where you actually, put in a JPEG of your signature and then send it through that way. It takes care of all that for you. But DocuSign does more than just necessarily allow you to sign documents. It's a great program that allows you to do business through, looking and writing contracts and other types of agreements. So it's really quite comprehensive. It has this new thing called Agreement Cloud. So that's brand new, something worth checking out for sure. But it just allows you to be able to manage all those important documents that you have to use or have to have within your business while allowing you to be able to sign off on things virtually. So there is a free trial on this, and so it's definitely worth exploring. There are alternatives. Of course, there's HelloSign and PandaDoc and Sign Now, but go ahead and check it out and, see if you like it for yourself.
So presentations, there's a tool that we really like called Slidebean. So many entrepreneurs have to do pitch decks or customer sales presentations, and Slidebean is honestly fantastic for this. So it actually is an AI powered online tool that pulls together different slideshows based on a variety of different ones that templates that they've created, as well as ones that have been very effective. So you'll see like examples from Airbnb or Uber, their actual pitch decks on there. So you'll see how they're set up, but then Slidebean makes it very user friendly and easy to create slideshows and make them really beautiful. So you just literally punch in your information and then they'll populate it out based off each slide. You pick which slides you want in it, and really you're there. So when you see these fancy, nice looking slideshows, a lot of them are because of tools like Slidebean or Canva Pro and SlideQuest. So why we like it, there's a lot of really good templates in there. There's a free plan to get started. And it's really good if you're providing educational resources, your sales pitch, or if you're a consultant. There's a lot of other good resources in there for that. And if you are a Spark member, there actually is a 30% discount on the premium plan of Slidebean. So again, check it out, try out the free plan, and on your next slideshow, I think it'll help a lot. And our last tool we're going to talk about is a human resources tool called Humi. So it's an all-in-one human resources tool that does payroll, time tracking, takes care of your benefits solutions, and really managing all the data of each of your employees for your organization. So I know I said earlier, QuickBooks does payroll, and it does. So Humi just does a lot more features specifically for HR. So you'll find some document templates in there, the benefit side, and a lot of other things like a letter of employment. So it's really good if you don't have an HR department. They really become that with this software. It's a Canadian company. They're based in Toronto and they're great for customer service. If you have any questions, you can give them a call and they'll try and help you through it. And some other alternatives are Payworks, Bamboo, and Capterra. So yeah, if you have HR, I definitely recommend trying out Humi and seeing if you like it.
And speaking of HR, just quickly, I recently read somewhere, and this does make sense. The time to start thinking about human resources for your company is not when you need it, but before. So before you have staff, before you get into that, is a good time to start thinking about human resources and all the stuff that you need for that, so that when you do get to a place of hiring people, you have something in place already, and you can go through that with your employees. So just food for thought out there. Human resources is not just for big companies, but it's also for small companies and startups.
Absolutely. Totally agree, Nicole.
Okay. And here we go.
So there's a question actually that just came in.
Okay.
You know, if Humi connects with QuickBooks or other accounting softwares. So I don't know the answer to that, Evan. It's a really good question. If I had to guess, I'm going to say it doesn't integrate naturally with QuickBooks because it might look at it as more of a competitor with the payroll software. But there's another really cool tool called Zapier. That's probably one way that you could integrate them because that specializes just in automations and integrations. So now here's a list of all the discounts and perks of being a Spark Niagara member that you have access to. So there's a lot on this list. There's about 40 and we probably have another 10 that just haven't got added to it. There's actually about $11,000 in discounts and savings that our partnership team has really gotten together here, which is great. So a lot of softwares as we've gone through, but there's also services too. So we have relationships with legal teams, accounting, insurance, and a variety of others where you can get a discount or a free consultation, for example, with a legal team, lawyers in-house. That's what they'll do for you just by being a Spark member. So just want to take a minute and tell anyone who is listening, if you're not a Spark Niagara member, we do have a variety of different virtual membership options, not just in person. So you can come here and rent a desk space or a private office, but we also have virtual membership. So this is a membership where you never actually come in person, but you still get access to all our events, coaching services, and all these great perks and discounts. And it's super affordable for a virtual membership. We just don't use the space. So we actively are always getting more and new perks and software partnerships for our members so that it'll help save them money in the early phases as they start to grow.
Fantastic. For sure. And here we go.
So thank you guys very much, and we'll gladly answer any questions. And if you have anything you think of after the webinar, just send an email to the info@sparkniagara.com, and either Nicole or myself will get back to you.